Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another RealTime Fantasy Sports show. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 5 of the fantasy football season. And when I do these waiver wire pickups, I'm going to give you guys that are owned on less than 50% of the leagues on our site. We're not going to talk about the guys who are owned in a lot of leagues. And I see a lot of different material out there these days where I'm just kind of shocked that people are suggesting picking up certain players because they're owned on most of the leagues on our site. So I'm just going to give you guys that are owned on less than 50% of leagues on our site. And also, don't forget this week, to cloud things even more, the buys start this week. The Lions, Chargers, Eagles, and Titans, they're all off week 5. So be prepared, get those lineups ready, and hit those waiver wires hard, because I know a lot of you need to pick up some players because of injuries and buys. And there's some options out there that I think are going to help this week. All right, my first waiver wire pickup for this week is Dontavion Wicks of the Green Bay Packers. He's owned on about 23.6% of leagues on our site. He didn't catch a pass in week 3, but last week he scored 2 touchdowns. He played more than Christian Watson, who was hurt, and he's going to be out a while, which is good news for Wicks. Wicks had 5 catches for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on 13 targets last week. The return of Jordan Love was huge. It looks like Watson's going to miss some time. I think that bodes well for Wicks. I think he's a great pickup for this week. A lot of people were high on him before the season, but he got dropped in a lot of leagues because quite frankly, he got off to a slow start. But now this injury opens the door for Wicks to get more playing time. I think he'll be really good the next few weeks while Watson is out. My next pickup for this week is Wan'Dale Robinson of the New York Giants. So he's owned on about 47.1% of leagues on our site. So he's out there in about half the leagues on our site. He's not available in every league, but he's out there in some leagues, and I'd go grab him. He looked really good last week. He has double-digit fantasy points now 3 or 4 games, so he's been consistent. That game last week, he had 11 catches for 71 yards on 14 targets. Giants offense starting to show some signs of life. Robinson's clearly a big part of that. I think this will be the last week you'll be able to go grab him if he's still available in one of your leagues. So if he's out there and you need receiver help, I'd go get Wan'Dale Robinson. My next pickup is another receiver, and it's Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts. So he started the year hurt, didn't play the first 2 games, but he's played the last 2 games, and he's looked pretty good. He had 8 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown on 9 targets last week. He has been involved in the offense as the slot receiver for Indianapolis, and he's getting looks, weekly looks. He's playing a lot. He's owned on just 35.8% of leagues on our site as well. And I think if Anthony Richardson has to miss any time, I think it could actually bode well for this passing game, and Joe Flacco being in there. And I think he might give that passing game a little bit of life. And I think it could be good news for Downs as well. Not sure if Richardson's going to miss any time, but you never know. And if he does, I think it helps Downs even more. My next pickup is actually another Indianapolis Colt, and it's Trey Sermon. He's owned on about 10.4% of leagues on our site. And the reason he's a pickup for this week is because Jonathan Taylor has an ankle injury. They say it's a high ankle sprain, and it's not that serious of a high ankle sprain, but when you hear high ankle sprain, it definitely worries you. So I would be concerned if I was a Taylor owner, and if you're at least a Taylor owner, I think you have to go grab Trey Sermon. He's out there in a lot of leagues. He actually looked pretty good with his few carries last week. He's produced some in the past as well. He's a top backup on a team that likes to run the ball. So I think Trey Sermon definitely has some value if he ends up starting this week or maybe the next couple weeks, because Taylor has to miss some time. So I think he's a good pickup, especially if you consider that running back option is not very good when it comes to trying to pick up players for this week. All right, my last waiver wire pickup for week 5 is tight end Tucker Kraft of the Green Bay Packers. So he has emerged as the starter go-to tight end in this offense over Luke Musgrave. He's played at least 80% of the snaps, 3 or 4 games. He scored his first touchdown of the season last week, caught 6 passes for 53 yards on 9 targets. He has multiple catches every game this season. Tight end position's a mess. Kraft's been getting consistent work. Jordan Love's back. I think he could be a good spot play for fantasy owners going forward. Again, that tight end position's been a disaster this year. Kraft could end up helping you the rest of the way. All right, those are my 5 waiver wire pickups for week 5 of the fantasy football season. Good luck to you in navigating those waiver wires this week, and good luck to you in all your games. This has been Jeff Paur with RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.